The first inductee, fittingly, is one of the first and most successful coaches in Ironton history. Iver Magnussen, who coached from 1965 to 1971. And here to present the award is John Purnell, who is a former wrestler for Coach Magnussen in the 1969 draft.
Good evening, everybody. First of all, I'm glad to say that I'm glad to hear about the 5-year rule. Just now I know I didn't get in. I guess because I'm first, I get to say this. I didn't realize it at the time that Ironton was a magical place. It took a long time to realize that. In 1974, I became a school teacher in a public school in Prince William County. And I was fortunate enough to be a wrestling coach and follow a lot of the things that I learned from Coach Magnussen. It's wonderful. Not all of us are going to get to say this. First of all, I'd say that there is not one wrestler that wrestled for Magnussen that would not have given everything they have to have the opportunity that I have tonight to do and say what I have to say. That's what kind of man he was. The second thing I want to say on behalf of all of us, that it's wonderful to see so many of the old friends, and I do mean old friends, Marty, that we haven't seen each other in a long time. And I hope after tonight that jointly between the school and ourselves, we can do a better job of getting together. Now let's start about Iver Magnussen. I started to think about what it is that I could say about the person that taught me so much. I came from a family of 6. I was the youngest of the bunch. My father died when I was 2. I started at Ironton. I was 14 years of age, and he took me under his wing. And that's where it stops, because what I wanted to say was, I walked in this morning, and through manna, a letter from Iver Magnussen was on my printer, and I'd like to read it to you all now. Dear men of Ironton, I hope this letter finds you all doing well. As you know, while I continue to miss my family and friends, I am now in a much better place. I thought I would share with you via this letter some of the things that were very important to me during my time at Ironton and how this whole thing started. After graduating from college in 1961, I went on to receive my master's degree from Westminster College while serving as a graduate assistant for wrestling. I then attended the Officers Candidate School for the U.S. Navy. In 1965, while holding the rank of ensign, I was stationed in Bailey's Crossroads, Virginia, doing typical office work. While there, I began to look for an opportunity to get involved in a local wrestling program. I found it intriguing that a new Catholic high school had been built not far from my apartment. After contacting the Ironton principal, Father McKay, we met, and after much discussion, it was decided that we would start a wrestling program and I would be the coach. The good father mentioned that the Oblates had several highly successful wrestling programs already established in other states and agreed to purchase enough mats to start a program. Where to practice was another issue. We lined up and practiced on the gymnasium stage and had to roll up the mats each and every day so the theater group could practice in the evenings. For those that have been to Ironton, I got my first tour today. I think it's now a weight room. That's where we started. I should mention that my first year as a new wrestling coach had a bit of a rough start. One afternoon early in the season, in a rush to get to wrestling practice, I left the file cabinet unlocked and that had classified documents. I should tell you, this is only the second time I've read this. For my oversight, I was sent on a 2-week junket to do inspections on ships like trash haulers, transporters, etc. The entire time I was traveling, I was imagining that I would return to the new established program in near collapse. Prior to my leaving on my scenic tour, I provided detailed practice plans with Brother Aldi, who had wrestled a little bit in high school. I knew it was someplace special because when I got back, the team had grown closer, the practices had gone as planned, and we had added a few more wrestlers. We were now over 30 strong. When the regular season matches started, we were actually able to compete with some of the long-established wrestling programs in the area. This was an opportunity for me because at the time, I was only 26 years of age and ready to build a dynasty. By the second year of the program, I had finished my obligations in the Navy and took a full-time teaching job at Iverton. Doing my lunch duties in the cafeteria, I learned a great deal about Catholic education and what made them so different from other schools, the priests. I remember Father Mellon coming into the cafeteria, pulling off his Roman collar, decking a young man for pulling a fire alarm, and picking the student up and helping him to the office. I loved it. This brings back good stuff, doesn't it? And nobody loved watching the wrestling matches more than Father the Bear Gavin, who could be seen on a daily basis tormenting young men in the hallways who were late for classes. Father Gavin was one of my best silent recruiters. As time went on, Iverton Wrestling took on the reputation of being gentlemen off the mat and extremely tough and talented wrestlers on the mat. It was with great pride when we walked into a gymnasium and knew we were the team to beat. But these things didn't come by accident. It took hard work and young men who were totally dedicated. In the second year, the administration gave us our own wrestling room, adjoining health room classes. Again, each day we had to carry all the student and teacher's desks out into the hallway, roll out the mats, and then reverse the process. Our practices at Iverton were much harder than the other schools, and my rule was that anyone who could handle the practice with 100% effort and attend all practices would be on the team. In 2 years, we had almost 70 wrestlers crowded into that same wrestling room. I loved it.